Well, good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Friday, September 16th, 2022. And our top story today, retirement security, recent efforts by other countries to expand coverage and retirement security. Well, Chris, it's so great to see you again. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Great to see you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And last time we chatted with you, it was about 403B plans that you and the team at the Government Accountability Office looked into. This time we're talking about how other countries expand and facilitate retirement savings. And let's start off there, just broadly. Tell us about the initiative, how you gathered all this information, and what countries in particular you and the team were looking at.
For those that may not be familiar with GAO, we're an independent, nonpartisan agency, and we conduct our work to provide Congress with information as they ponder policy decision-making, and so our research can be very helpful in that regard, and much of our work is at the request of Congress, and this is no different. For this particular study, we convened a panel of international representatives, experts, and they include 5 countries, Canada, including the Quebec province, Lithuania, the Netherlands, New Zealand, and the UK. And we selected these countries because they have reforms and policies that can help improve the retirement savings, retirement security for workers. And we focus in on certain mechanisms, and they include automatic enrollment, default options, plan flexibilities. And so these mechanisms were the focus of our discussion with these representatives. So they provided their perspectives on what worked well and what are some of the trade-offs. So that was the focus of our study.
Yeah, really interesting. And I'm a big believer, I know you are, and certainly Congress is, there are lessons, we don't age differently here in the States than we do in Lithuania or Canada. We're all going to get older. We all face kind of the same challenges of putting it away. So I'm a firm believer of getting the best information possible and seeing what works in other countries, and we can kind of create the best retirement plan possible. Chris, I want to ask you about auto enrollment. What did you learn when you look at Lithuania and UK and Canada, including the Quebec province? I don't want to forget the French-speaking Quebecois. What did we learn about auto enrollment during this report?
What we learned is that many of these plans do offer automatic enrollment. These countries take different approaches. Canada encourages automatic enrollment, while the others make it a requirement. And they many reported that they've experienced very positive outcomes as a result of this mechanism. For example, the UK increased their participation from 2013 to 2014 by tenfold. So 1.1 million participants to over 10 million. Just to give you an example of the potential success of how auto enrollment can help workers have access and participate in these plans.
Yeah, and look, in today's 401k plans, how that kind of translates here in the States, we have automatic enrollment in a great majority, not all, but a great majority of those plans. And from all accounts, it seems to be a very positive plan design feature. Let me ask you about financial incentives for employees, because, no deed goes unpunished. People need a little something, a little carrot before they get the stick. So what about some of the financial incentives? Is there such a thing as a match or an employer contribution that goes along with this automatic enrollment in some of these other countries?
As it may not be a surprise to you and to others, some of the levers used are very similar to what we use here in the United States, which is tax incentives, right? So the government can provide tax incentives to encourage participation, savings, or via withdrawals. And those tax incentives can be directed for participants or for employers to provide employer contributions.
Yep, absolutely. And it sounds so similar. And it sounds like maybe some of those countries, maybe some of the Eastern European countries like Lithuania, maybe have adopted some of the best practices here in the States as well. Chris, I need to take a very quick break, unfortunately. When we come back, we'll talk about some more lessons learned from other countries. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM.
At Empower, we help you open doors to get you ready for everything that lies ahead. Because your financial wellness is what matters most. Behind every door is an opportunity to save for life's moments.
So proud of you.
These are your goals, and it's time to help get you there. We've been opening doors for more than 17 million customers across America as they save for the future they want. We are Empower, and we're ready to open some doors for you.
Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-504-8194.
Well, Chris, thanks so much for staying with us. We always appreciate yours and the GAO's insight. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's continue the conversation. This is, again, fascinating. Just for the refresher, if you came in late during the commercial break, after the commercial break, GAO did a study examining other countries and things like auto enrollment, contributions, etc. Chris, let's pick up the conversation around default plan options. Here in the States, we have something called target date funds or life cycle funds, and these fall under the Pension Protection Act. We're not going to get too much into the weeds, but how does some of these other great countries handle default options for these participants who are automatically enrolled?
Mm-hmm. The international representatives that we discussed about their plans reported that financial decisions are very complex. And human nature is that sometimes, there's inertia, procrastination. And so to the extent that we have tools to help facilitate and simplify these financial decisions, can help encourage participation and help participants save more, right? So these default options can include a minimum contribution rate. And many of the plans that we looked at, the contribution rate is generally between 3 and 5%. So that's one particular mechanism that plans can help participants simplify their decision making. The other option, as you mentioned, is the target date funds. For those who are unfamiliar with target date funds, it's a fund that has a mix of different risk levels, and there's a glide path that switches the risk level according to the expected retirement date of the worker. So that takes the sort of the active managing part of financial decision making for participants. And so that's one option that these countries are using, where participants are defaulting into these funds so that it's less decision making on their part. The other thing that they talked about was default providers. In this situation, it's about providing more consumer protection, if you will, for the participants. They talked about these providers offer lower fees, for example. They have, more fiduciary responsibilities, and they're subject to federal oversight. So those are the three broad categories of default options that the countries offered to us in terms of sharing their perspectives.
Yeah, it sounds like, this goes back around the Pension Protection Act. I know Bill Sharp and Shlomo Bonartzi did a lot of behavioral research. And again, if you're a human in America or a human in Lithuania, you're still a human, and eliminating some of those choices and structuring an architecture in a plan just makes sense. It just facilitates and makes it easier. Second to last question, not the last question. Won't let you off that easy, Chris. Let's talk about plan flexibilities. How flexible are these other plans? For example, can you opt out of auto enrollment? I know you mentioned that some make it mandatory, but what type of flexibilities exist when you looked at some of these other countries?
That's a great point. Plan flexibilities also are features that can help participants navigate their savings, their retirement throughout the process. And as you mentioned, while auto enrollment is wonderful to encourage savings, there may be times in a participant's life where they may be facing financial hardship, and perhaps that contribution rate may not suit their financial conditions at the time. So these plans do offer the opt-out feature, and based on available data, it suggests that plans that offer a longer period to opt out tended to have a higher rate of opting out. For example, I think Lithuania had a 39% of opting out, and they have the longest period of opting out, I think about 150 days, for example.
Wow.
Other countries like the UK, they do offer re-enrollment and automatic re-enrollment after 3 years, for example. So there's some flexibility there. They do talk about the trade-offs of, allowing participants to withdraw during a financial hardship, for example, and that the potential downfall to that is leakage. The more that the participants withdraw their funds before retirement, they run the risk of perhaps not having enough during retirement years.
All right, Chris, we talked last time when you were on the show about 403B plans. This time we're talking about what other countries are doing. I have to ask, because I'm just kind of excited, what reports can we expect from the GAO? What are you working on? Can you give us a little bit of a hint what's cooking at the GAO?
Well, in terms of retirement, we have quite a few reports that we're working on. If you're interested in 403B, we do have a part 2 that is coming perhaps early next year. So I would be delighted to come back and discuss our results then.
Absolutely. I'm excited. You can see me licking my salivating here. Well, Chris, it's always great to see you. Give my best to everyone at the GAO, and thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you. Good to see you.
And that wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, somebody you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the latest curated news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, entertainment, so much more in all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content, or visit our website, and of course, all of our streaming partners. We're back again tomorrow with a look back at our best segments for the week on BRN Weekly. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
Waiting here for you to take and drink of. But if you're tired of the same old
Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the first lifestyle and wellness network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.